Good day. You doing good? You doing good? Yes. Hello. And welcome back to me screaming into the void. I hope you're doing well. I think when I'm gonna be uploading this, it's gonna be a couple of days before Thanksgiving. And I thought I would do you the favor to give you the different options you have during this period to survive it, either alone, with family, with stabby people, who knows. As you can hear by my voice, I have once again begotten ill. I feel like the entire year has just been reminding me, hey, you have a body and you're gonna be sick as a dog. In case you're wondering why my eyes are so glassy and my voice is one of the best it's ever been, I'm dying. However, since I did spend a lot of time on this and I really had a lot of fun searching the movies to create the storyline, this time the things are a little different. Instead of just telling you all the movies that you should watch during Thanksgiving season, I chose 6 specifically because I wanted to tell an entire story arc and give you the different options you could have during Thanksgiving. You ready? I hope you are. I'm delirious. Thanksgiving. Some see it as a joyous family gathering, others as a psychological experiment disguised as dinner. If you stay on campus to dodge the family drama, or go home and endure it, either way, the horror will find you. This year, we are skipping the gratitude and going straight for the carnage. 6 movies, 6 steps, 1 cursed long weekend that starts with lonely leftovers and ends with parasitic shoppers. Welcome to the Sinful 6 Thanksgiving edition. First up, Christy, 2014. You skipped Thanksgiving? Well, the darknet will know. You stay behind thinking you have dodged family chaos, no judgment, no dry turkey, no, so what are you doing with your life? A quiet dorm and a microwaved meal. But the internet brings darkness to your door. Justine, played by the wonderful Haley Bennett, is broke, alone, and stalked by a hooded girl named Violet, played by Ashley Greene, who calls her Christy. Thus the name of the movie. There will be a couple of times where you'll be like, oh, she said the title. She said the title. Turns out it's not a mistake, it's deliberate. Violet's dark web cult films and uploads ritual murders of pure girls like it's influencer content for psychopaths. They filmed at a real campus college location to capture those deserted Thanksgiving vibes, and the fireball finale in the pool, completely practical. So yeah, if you skip family dinner, you will get hunted by a cyber cult. Survive this and you'll have unlocked Final Girl Cyber Edition. Next up, Into the Dark, Flesh and Blood from 2018. Now, I know a lot of people are very miffed at this series and I don't get it. I am a massive fan of anthologies. No, this is not tea. This is coffee. So the series has gotten a lot of flack and people said, yeah, this has been done before and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. I liked it. And there is a couple of directors who actually did these movies that I'm a fan of. So maybe you didn't die alone on campus and you stayed home instead because family's everything. Kimberly, played by Deanna Silvers, her mom has passed away and her dad, played by Mulroney, love him, is coping by doing renovations on the house. She hasn't left the house since the funeral because agoraphobia traps her while dad is renovating. These movies, especially Into the Dark, are sometimes on the nose. However, it's kind of the fun in them. It's like Goosebumps, but for adults. You know what you're expecting. You know what's gonna happen. I don't always need to be surprised by movies. If I want to be surprised by movies, I will watch stuff that is a little more deep. But sometimes I just want to be able to couch potato and watch some dumb shit. For her birthday, he gives her a necklace. How sweet! Until she sees the same one on a missing girl in the news report. How not so sweet anymore. A few Google searches later, she realizes dad's hobby might not be renovations, but collecting corpses. And that's why I like him so much in this, because he's usually playing roles that are more like warm-hearted, funny movies, and I think the director did it on purpose, that he chose a person who's mostly liked, which kind of puts you in this false positive. However, if you've watched enough Into the Dark segments, you know that there is always something a little off. Diana Silvers did most of her own stunts, and they built the attic set for dynamic movement as she crawled through the fire without any green screens. So the entire attic scene was all done in a makeshift attic with, I think, a couple of hydraulics to make it move. I'm not sure though. And yes, the director Patrick Lussier edited Scream and Halloween age 20, which explains why the pacing feels like a slasher. Kim having to fight a psychotic dad and having to get out of the house while being agoraphobic is easier said than done, because just get out of the house is the same as just be a little more happy. It's all in your head. I hate such people. Sorry, but I really do. It's not how it works. You know what does work? Watching people get chopped to pieces in horror movies. That's what helps me. Next up. Now, this movie has been regarded as a drama. However, I will be damned if this is not a horror movie. For anyone who has watched it, please let me know. But I'm pretty sure that in my book, this is the most realistic horror movie I've seen. When I watched it, I was not okay in the end. Krisha, 2015. The wait for dinner is the real hell. We have arrived at the most nightmarish of them all, the family reunion. Krisha, the aunt who swears she's sober now, is here to cook the turkey, make amends, and prove everyone wrong. But as the day drags on and the oven timer ticks down, her mask starts to slip. Trey Edward Schultz, who also directed It Comes at Night and Hurry Up Tomorrow, and yes, is working on a TV series adaptation of Cape Fear. I'm really looking forward to that one because I already knew him from Krisha. That's the first movie I watched of his. So I'm really looking forward to the Cape Fear adaptation. I didn't like Hurry Up Tomorrow too much. If you want to know my opinion on that, it's in this video. I'm not gonna say more. He filmed this entire movie in his own family house, starring his real relatives, including his aunt, Krisha Fairchild. He shot it on weekends with borrowed equipment and on a $30,000 budget. This movie just proves again, you don't need, you don't need. 30,000 is a lot. Just putting that out there. I love how when people say like, he shot it only on a $30,000 budget. And I'm like, you need to have that start capital. So we have Krisha preparing this dinner. She really seems very adamant to set amends. There is a nice little twist that if you pay attention, you're aware of it. However, those last 5 minutes, never want to go to family dinners at special occasions ever again. She burns bridges, drops the bird, and the dropped turkey scene that had to be filmed in one take, and everyone's horrified reaction was improvised for a realistic flair. It's utterly self-destructive right before dessert hits. The aftermath of this entire thing while she sleeps it off pulls the ratio even tighter than it was in the beginning, giving us this claustrophobic self-hatred vibe of no going back. Krisha Fairchild is a phenomenal actress and should be doing more movies. I don't know why I haven't seen her in more. This movie just proves it again that horror doesn't need to be bloody. Sometimes the scariest thing is your family members. I purposefully put the most traumatizing movie in the middle and then added a couple of movies to lighten the load because this movie is gonna rip you apart. Next up, Into the Dark, Pilgrim 2019. Tradition, but make it a cult. After that family disaster, you tell yourself, next year will be better. More gratitude, more family time, less trauma. So you invite pilgrims to live in your house. Anna wants exactly that. She wants to reconnect her family with their roots. She hires a historical reenactor to host an authentic Thanksgiving. But these pilgrims don't leave. They build a shed, churn butter like it's a ritual, and start preaching about earning your blessings. The idea came from a real dinner that director Marcus Dunstan, who also directed The Collector, The Collection, and will direct, hopefully coming out soon, please, The Collector, the third part. He attended a Thanksgiving dinner where the guests refused to break character all night. Found it kind of hilarious until he started getting creeped out by it. And that's how you get in the beginning this little written note based on a mostly true story. The blood-soaked dinner finale is 100% practical. One of the lead actresses said that they stayed coated in fake blood between takes. Pilgrim is the Thanksgiving self-help version of Midsommar, since the invitees participate in a cheerful tradition that turns into a homicidal cult ritual. After that, we tune into Thanksgiving 2023, Family Matters. Just add a little bit of capitalism. By now, you've survived cybercults, addicts, serial killer dads, and colonial cosplay. Time for the main course, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, a slasher set during the holiday itself. Now I'm gonna go off on a little tangent. Let me explain. I love the kills that Eli Roth does. He does them really well. They're really fun. They're all practical. They're all gory. And that is why I like watching them. But there is always this bitter after Roth. There is a certain disdain I have for directors who have a certain penchant to typecast, and that makes me slightly peeved off. This movie does not make it any different. He has the oversized people getting killed in a really bad way, and then you always have the tall brunette with doe eyes surviving in his movies. End of the tangent. I do like this movie for its kills and its special effects. You know me, I am a huge, massive fan of practical effects when they're done right, and Eli Roth does them right every time, except in Knock Knock. I know they say don't beat a dead horse, but I'm always gonna remind everyone that Knock Knock exists. If you want to watch a movie that is gonna make you laugh for all the wrong reasons, this is the one you need to watch. So this movie starts on a Black Friday in Plymouth? I'm gonna say Plymouth, Massachusetts. The crowd turns feral, people die, and corporate greed gets its first casualties. A year later, somebody wearing a pilgrim mask comes to carve up the survivors. Thump, Dum dum. Roth waited 16 years to make this movie. He used hundreds of gallons of fake blood. Patrick Dempsey did most of his own chase and stunt scenes himself, and that John Carver Mars was sculpted from a real 1620s portrait because John Carver was the first governor of the Plymouth colony in 1620. It's everything Thanksgiving deserves. Gore, survivor's guilt, and lots of gravy. And just when you think you have survived Thanksgiving, Black Friday brings a whole new threat. The turkey is gone, the family is fighting in a group chat, you survived, emotionally scarred, but alive. Now it's time for the final boss of American tradition, consumer carnage. Devon Sawa, Bruce Campbell, Michael J. White, and a crew of underpaid toy store workers face the Black Friday shift from hell. An alien parasite infects shoppers, mutating them into bargain bin monsters with bad attitudes. This was filmed in a real abandoned Toys R Us during lockdown. It was just fun. The creature effects were 95% practical, courtesy of the makeup FX legend Robert Kurtzman, who is known for Tusk, you know me and Tusk, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Child, just to name a few, because he's got a lot of movies under his belt. The director, Casey Tebow, was Aerosmith's video documentarian and content director on tour. So if anyone understands chaos, it's him. If you thought surviving Thanksgiving was a feat, Black Friday is a whole different ballpark. And that's our cursed weekend. Stay behind, the darknet hunts you down. Stay home, your dad's a psychopath. Try to be helpful, you drop the bird and your dignity. Get traditional, the pilgrims will not leave. Move on, you will get stalked by a slasher with an axe. Indulge in some Black Friday shopping to save some money, the sales will eat you alive. Thanksgiving isn't about gratitude, it's about endurance. In this case, listen, if you have a wholesome family able to make nice dinners and you're all cheerful and happy throughout the dinner and there is nothing wrong except for your uncle getting a little tipsy, stuff like that, that's fine. But for others, it is an endurance. So shove the bird into that oven, sharpen the carving knife, and remember, no matter where you hide, you're still on the menu. Happy Thanksgiving, Void Floaters. I hope you have a delicious turkey meal dinner, and if not, I hope you are couch potatoing in front of your TV, just like I will, with a good massive bag of chips and a hot cocoa with some marshmallows. Bye!